Hi, now we are going to check on the question, explain how economists measure the way in which demand for a good, changes when income changes. And with the help of a diagram item, show why some goods are classified as inferior. So we have to check two things here: why the demand of certain goods are decreasing when the income is changing. And also what is inferior. So the topic is connected with the income elasticity of demand. So what is income elasticity of demand? Income elasticity of demand measures the responsiveness of demand for a good to a change in consumers' income, right? So let's see how to calculate. What is the equation for income elasticity of demand? It is Y E T, right? Income elasticity of demand is equal to percentage change in quantity, right? That is percentage change in quantity demanded divided by percentage change in income. So let's write it as delta 1. Okay, so it shows how much quantity demanded changes when income changes. That is delta QD by delta 1. And it is calculated using the percentage change in income and demand. So we are calculating the percentage change. So if the value is greater than 0, it will be a normal good. Demand rises as income rises. So for a normal good, when the income increases, the demand for that good will also increases. But for an inferior good, when the income increases, when the income increases, the demand will fall. So that is the difference between inferior and a normal. Okay. So an inferior good is a good for which the demand decreases as income increases. So that is negative income elasticity. The value will be negative. So why it happens? Why for some good when the income is increases, why we are not buying that product more? So just imagine that when you started working or when you are a student, you only have an allowance or a pocket money or earnings, whatever it is. You only have around 1,000 rupees in your hand. For per month, you only have 1,000 rupees. So you might eat any like discounted meals. You might buy second-handed goods, right? And you will try to reduce your expense as much as possible. And once you graduate or once you got the proper experience and all, now you got a six-figure job. Or let's assume a five-figure job, or even like you are earning around 50K, something like that. Will you go to the same lifestyle as you are earning 1,000 rupees? No, not. Right. So instead of that, you will try to improve your life, right? You will buy better products. You might buy, you might eat better food, right? And the space you were living, you will get a better space, right? So as a result, all those you were used to buy, you will just ignore them, right? For example, if I only have 1,000 rupees as allowance, excluding my living expenses like the rent and all, I only have extra 1,000 rupees. So I have to eat for 30 days. 30 days I need to eat with this 1,000 rupees. So I might buy the cheapest meals available in the restaurants or the canteen, right? But when I have 50K, I won't go for that, right? I will eat better. I will eat buy better food, better clothes, everything, right? So that is what we mentioned here. So those cheaper or discounted food, the discounted like clothes, whatever we buy on discounts or the cheap rate, that are considered as inferior goods. So at the low income level, consumers buy cheaper goods. That is a common thing, right? Whenever we don't have enough money to buy something, or if our earnings are comparatively low, we'll just buy something to sustain, right? But that is not the case when our income is increased, right? When the income increases, consumers switch to higher quality substitute. For example, you are eating like any bread slices or some veggies and all. You might switch to sandwiches or burgers when you get more income, right? Just like that. So hence the demand for the inferior good falls. So that is why the inferior goods demand falls when the income is increased, because you no longer like that. Okay, because the other case, the first, you don't have any other choice. That is why you have to buy that to sustain. But once you get more income, better things with you, you will have to go for it because you have the capacity or the ability to buy it. So let's discuss it with the graph. Okay, so in this graph, you can see the curve is more, the demand curve is more steep, right? So a small change in the price can or the income can. So here we are taking income instead of price, okay, and the quantity limited. So a small change in the income can create a difference in the quantity demanded, right? So for example, see when the uh, income increases from Y1 to Y2, the quantity has decreased. Okay. So gradually we will completely ignore the product. So as you can see here, the vertical axis is given by income and the horizontal axis we took quantity demanded. And you can see the point AB on this, right? So the point A is at income Y1 and we consume quantity Q1. At the point B, you can see the income increases to Y2, right? As a result, quantity demanded falls to Q2. Okay. So the movement from A to B shows that it has increase in income. As the income increases, at the same time, okay, the quantity demanded decreases. Okay, nothing else is changing. The price of the product is the same. The situations are the same. The only our income has changed. Okay, so as the same time, quantity demanded has decreased. So this curve is a downward sloping curve. Okay. And this indicates the inverse relationship between income and demand. As the income increases, demand decreases. So it is an inverse relationship, right? Yeah. And as income rises, consumers buy less of that particular good. And this happens because they switch to better quality substitute. Okay, we are substituting the product with a better quality product. So that product is no longer needed. So therefore, the good is classified as an inferior good. So that is why we call it as an inferior good. So we will only go for inferior good when we don't have enough income, we don't have enough to spend on it. Okay. Otherwise, we'll go for the better quality, better products. The same, right? Whenever you have to buy a lot of things with a small amount of money, you will compromise on quality, you will compromise on brands, you will try to fulfill your needs. So, but whenever you have enough budget, you will just buy whatever you want with better quality and better brands, etc. So, that is what we call as inferior good. Okay.